Everybody, welcome back. Today's video, Envoy time. Emma Frost kit reveal. Marauders kit updated. Is this team now going to be the new Mercs of War Defense? An annoying team that is a royal pain in the butt to kill with a bunch of healing? Or is it just one of those minor updates that makes them a little bit more tough? We're going to talk about that. More importantly, in my mind, because it's stats, we're going to talk about stats. So, you know how I like to do those stat runs, show you kind of where they rank up compared to everyone else. So, going to do that, obviously go over the kit stuff. But I think if you get the stats out of this and how the Marauders as a team are going to start functioning, I think you're going to start building them up. And see if you agree. All right, let's check it out.
Bring me Wolverthor!
I'm a part of a volunteer FoxNext Envoy program. I'm not an employee of FoxNext, nor am I an employee of Marvel. I do not receive any payments from either of these companies. The information that I was provided came directly from FoxNext through this Envoy program. However, any opinions, comments, or analysis of this information is strictly my own.
All right, so we're going to go over her kit first. Emma Frost, the White Queen of the Hellfire Club. Maybe eventually in this game. Currently not at the moment. She has no team tag. The only traits she's got are Villain, Global, Mutant, Controller. So, no Marauder tag. Is that going to make a difference? No, because they get adjusted. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. So, basic, called Fashionable Strike. Attack primary target for 290% damage, plus flip 2 positive effects to negative effects. Not bad. They've got this charged aspect of it, which we'll get to in a second, where you attack the primary target for an additional 50% of damage, and instead of flipping the negative effects, you clear them. I have to admit, even if the charge, I don't know if I love that. I kind of like flipping negative effects more than I do clearing them. That's just me, because if they have an offense down and I'm making an offense up, or if they have an offense up and I make an offense down, that's a big swing in the fight. Or a heal or a bleed, an immunity or not to disrupt. I don't know. I like the flip there, so I'm not sure I'm really ever going to really try to get this basic to be used in charge, but we'll see. Next up is her special, Diamond Form. This is the first turn ability. If charged, clear charged, bury yourself for 20% of this character's max health. So get those red stars on her. You're going to want her having a lot of high HP. Clear all negative effects from self and all allies. So when you're using this, everything gets cleansed, okay? Apply immunity to self and all mutant villain allies. Immunity to self and all mutant villain allies. Apply slow to all enemies. Gain charged. So basically what this ability is doing is burying herself to protect her, clearing any negative effects that might have happened prior to her taking her turn, and putting all immunity on everybody else. So aim, counter, see ya, it's not there. It's either, even if you got your Scientist Supreme going before her, unless there's some way to ultra slow stun her, then forget about it. She's going to clear the effects, and if Scientist Supreme hasn't gone, she's going to put the immunity on. So, okay, I'm not really seeing that happen anymore, right? So who is going to counter this team, if that's not the case? And we'll go through some of that more later. And then the charged aspects here. So it's like, okay, well, it's great she gains charge, so use basic next. Let's look at her ultimate. Her ultimate is called Turn the Tables. Energy cost 2 out of 4. So given the special is her first turn ability with a short cooldown on a 3 out of 3 energy, this isn't a very long cooldown either, and it's 2 out of 4, so it should be your turn 2 if you decide to use it. If charged, clear charged. Again, clear. Oh no, this is clear all positive effects from enemies. Apply blind to the primary target. Mind control, Loki, think Loki here, the 2 enemy or ally characters with the most damage to attack the primary target. Controlled characters gain 40% damage for this attack. So same thing as Loki, except for instead of it just being the AI, you can use your own characters if they have higher damage than the AI's characters, which I think is actually super cool. I'm really loving that. She's basically like whoever is the strongest, go attack this person right now, and you get 40% increased damage. If this primary target is killed, apply blind to the non-summoned enemy with the most speed bar. My note here is get the kill shot. Use this when you know you can kill somebody, because it's going to automatically blind whoever is getting ready to go next on the enemy's team, which is awesome. So I'm loving that. So if we're talking about the charged here, it's kind of like, all right, so you use special to get charged, and then you're pretty much using ultimate, which clears charged. So until you really go again with your special, that basic aspect, it might not really play in at all. You could see that maybe you go to basic and then this turn, depending on who you're going against and if you really want to wait to use it. But, you know, if you're going to drop these Marauders on defense, which you're probably going to do, and you should do, then it's going to be the AI controlling it. So it'll be interesting to see how that charge dynamic plays out for the for the basic. The passive, the White Queen. On turn, heals self for 15% of max health. So again, when you got stuff like that on war defenses, you love seeing that. It's great, it's awesome, perfect. Apply -10 speed to all enemies. Now, I wrote in my notes here, Domino take 2. I recall Domino having the same problem, or the same passive, and it might have been speed bar, so it was a little bit different, but it basically bugged out, and it was never working right. So I believe FoxNext changed it from this to speed up X-Force. So I don't know what's going to happen here, but I do question if that's going to work properly. So just temper your expectations there. Now, the one part that's really cool to see while charged is after you use that special, you're going to gain 400% armor and 500% resistance. Ultimately, what's happening is you're staying in diamond form. You're borderline untouchable, unbreakable, whatever you want to call it. But it's awesome. You love seeing that. On war defense, on spawn, apply defense up for 2 turns to all mutant villain allies. So basically everybody who's on that Marauder team. It's not for Marauders, it's all mutant villains. So this allows her to be, you know, eventually, when you get like Mutant Hellfire Club type stuff, this is going to apply to them as well. So my note here is X-Force and Negasonic, turn 1 alt needed for 2 teams now. You know, the X-Force was talked about being needed for killing the Asgardians and having that defense up. Well, depending on how they shake out against this team, you might need them here too. So if X-Force is able to beat the Marauders now on war defense, then you build them up. Make sure your alliance mates build them up, because you're going to need them for multiple teams. Because, like I said, I don't see AIM beating these guys. Was checking some speed with Pika a little bit, who's also an envoy, talking about Fantastic Four. Now, it does appear, because of the speed boost that Emma Frost gets from Strife, that she goes before Namor's ult, so there should or could be some Fantastic Four counters, but in the footage that we got, Marauders won. So we didn't know exactly how the power traits were, so I don't know, man. Like, this team, I'm gonna start selling these guys as, if you care about war defense, build these guys up. If you have, you know what? Actually, hold on a second, because you need to see the updates to Marauders, right? So let's go check those out. All right, so I've got the Fantastic Four fight going on behind me. You'll see the results. It doesn't show buffs or health or anything, so don't worry too much about what's happening there. But you get the idea. So, all right, so the actual Marauders changes. So Sabretooth. His passive, it was updated basically to be, instead of Marauder, it now says Mutant. So that way, Emma Frost gives an additional 5% damage to him. So Sabretooth gets a little bit better with Emma Frost on the team, because she's a mutant. Not villain mutant, just mutant. Mr. Sinister, right to his passive, if you don't see anything highlighted, that means it didn't change. So on spawn, he still generates that 3 ability energy. On turn, he's still healing for 15% of that max health, and 5% of max health per Marauder or Emma Frost ally. So he gets that additional 5% now, so it's an even bigger heal for him. Apply regen to the 2 most mutant allies the same. Added is, if Strife is an ally, also apply regeneration to him as well. So instead of just the 2 most injured mutant allies, it's also always to Strife as well. So if he's not, you know, and it's going to be interesting to see if it will double it up on him if Strife is one of the injured Does he get 2 regens? We'll see. But either way, he's added to make sure that there's an regen for him. On Emma Frost or Marauder's turn, if this character's health is greater than 50%, redistribute. So it's just making sure that on her turn, he's also doing that mechanic. The gain 50% focus. Marauders also gain 50% focus, but it does not have Emma Frost on this. This is the only part of this whole kit that you don't get an Emma Frost add. So does it matter? We'll check out the stats in a second, okay? You also gain 20% health for Emma and the Marauders, so that's great. On War Defense, you also get an additional 30% health for Emma and the Marauders. So pretty nice so far there for the Marauder upgrade as far as Sinister goes. You get a little bit extra, that 5%, and the extra regen on Strife. And speaking of Strife, how did he change? Because this might be, in my opinion, the biggest change that we're going to see. If you have a big Strife, this team is just become one of your best war defenses, in my opinion. We'll see for sure, but looking at this, I'm going, okay, all right, like, wait a minute, we got some serious, I need to focus on some Marauders here. Strife, specialty. So hey, this is his taunt, this is his special. It's called superiority, not specialty. Basically, he gets 5% more barrier when he taunts off the bat. So it's like, all right, great. And that's across all levels, right? So passive. Again, if it's green, it's updated. On spawn, you still get the speed bar plus the mutant villain ally. So there's an additional 10% for Emma being there if you didn't have a mutant villain before. On turn, if taunting, you still get that one deflect up to a maximum of 5. But now, up to 3, maximum up to 3. But now, you also gain barrier for 20% of this character's max health. It's 15% without the T4s, but this is crazy. So every single turn he gets, if he's taunting, he's going to gain barrier. Okay, we're like, well, yeah, but he's going to special and taunt once. It's like, great, cool story. Wait a minute, there's more to that. Just give me a second. When a mutant villain ally, this used to say just Sinister. So now it says when a mutant villain ally drops below 50% max health, gain +1 taunt. Up to a maximum of 3. Gain barrier for 20% of this character's max health. So shield security on steroids, because you're getting barrier. And you're stacking taunts. And adding barrier. And taunt and barrier. And getting healed by Sinister. Strife, man, is just gotten serious in this game mode, in my opinion. On regeneration, gain 10% of this character. Gain barrier for 10% of this character's max health. More barrier. This dude, on war defense, gain, and then it's the same. You still get this, the resistance and focus. So, I don't know, man. Like, like Marauders, they're legit on defense. Not that they weren't bad before, but I don't see AIM necessarily countering this team. This change in Strife and just a tad of Sinister with Emma now getting him an extra 5% heal should keep Sinister up, should keep taunts going on Strife, because you're going to constantly need to clear those taunts. So even if he was taunted and used Namor to clear it, guess what? He's going to taunt again, so you're stuck back on him. And then guess what? Sinister's going to heal. And then guess what? If you had any debuffs, Emma's clearing him. You know, if this guy looks sick. Get Strife huge, get Sinister huge, and then have your Sabretooth be nice and big to do the damage. Okay? That's this team. I'm thinking they're going to be really nice. Is it Merc level? I'm not going to lie. Like, Mercs, I was kind of like, this seems interesting. It could be good. And holy crap, they're annoying. So this, I don't know. This could be, yeah, I want to see how this plays out. So anyway, let's check out this lady's stats. Okay, for those who aren't aware, I have a giant spreadsheet that ranks all of the stats in the game for characters. It gives you an idea how the characters stack up against other ones, and then I have an average rank at the end, so you can see, in general, based on stats alone, where these characters rank up. All of these stats are now based on level 75, 7 yellow stars, 4 red stars, T14, so the highest gear level in the game. So this really tells you if you get this character to T14, and all this stuff is based off of msf.gg, and they've got really good stats. It's a great website. Check it out. And also 25% Stark Tech and passive level 4. So I've taken essentially the highest you could bring somebody in the game outside of red stars, but left it at a reasonable red star level so that you could see how well does this character stack up. So having said that, it's currently set up ranking these characters on the average rank. So Dark Phoenix is still one. So let's scroll down and see when we get Emma to pop up. Got some pretty good characters on this list. Oh, there she is. Emma Frost comes in at the 18th best character in the game based on stats alone. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean anything if she doesn't have the right stats, right? So let's see what they are. Health. We want that because she's got the heal on turn. 14th. Super impressive there, right? All right. Damage. 76. You know, with 15,000 damage there, it's actually pretty solid. I was a bit surprised because as a controller, I was expecting to be 100 or worse, but 76 is like, okay, it's towards the bottom-ish, but not where you'd think. Now, armor is actually super low. It's 126 with 4,443 armor. But she's got that charge dynamic, so she increases that armor, what, 400% or whatever it was? So that's going to go way up when she's in that form. So luckily, she'll be able to be indestructible, and it kind of makes sense. When she's in that form, she should be pretty tough. When she's not in that form, it should be more Scarlet Witch-like, which is Scarlet Witch is worse than this because she has no focus. Now, focus, holy cow. This is the reason I think Fox Next did not add Emma Frost to that passive that we were talking about earlier, where she got the extra percent, okay? Because she's already the top-ranked focus character in the game. She doesn't need any more. She's got, I think it was like 2,000 more focus than Pyro, who's this number 2. So she shouldn't be missing anything. And again, this is a T14 where you get, you know, a 300% increase, but that's the case for pretty much all tunes. So that's a crazy high focus. I was really happy to see that. Resistance, she's also got a really high resistance. Nice seeing that, so you're not going to get a lot of negative effects on her. Add those clears and the immunities, and she's staying debuff free for quite a while. Speed-wise, 111, not too bad. You know, so she's 52nd in the game. But remember, there's a lot of speed dynamics going on with Strife, at least at the beginning of the fight. So, but she's not slow, which I was happy to see. And so her average rank across all tunes, or her average rank based on all of those ranks, is 47.7, which isn't too bad. I mean, if you're looking and scrolling these up, you're looking at these, she's like, you know, pretty right up there with some of these top level tunes. Taskmaster 40, you know, it's really 30s and 40s, and then Dark Phoenix is really the one that's like way above everybody else. She just is like, look at me, I'm, you know, amazing. So most people are in this 35, you know, and even 47 range, so they're, you know, but it's a tight race there. So Emma's stats, pretty sick. Pretty sick. I was really stoked to see this. I was like, and on top of that, scene with the Marauders, let's just talk about this in the outro. One thing I do want to mention before going in the outro, Toad, his passive in War is now gained 100% focus for self and Brotherhood allies instead of 60, so 40% boost there. Nothing special. Anyway, back to Emma. Okay, so Emma Frost by herself, stat-wise, amazing. Kit, really solid. Low cooldowns, I like it. Speed's not too bad. She'll get a little boost from Strife, which is great. She's got some self-heal. She's got some clears. She's got some clears of the enemies. She's got some blind. You know, it's kind of like, all right, I like this. I like this controller. You know, some mind control so she can do some damage there. I'm digging this. You know, I'm really, really liking what I'm seeing with her kit in general and combined with her stats. And then when you add the Marauders changes, I mean, right? This team has just got, for real, more defense in my mind. And they were already really good. Now, a lot of people used aim to counter them. With Emma, I don't know, man. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I want to hear it. So, anyway, that's it for this Envoy video. I'm going to do another one separately because these were, with the information we got, it'd be a 40-minute long video. Or I'd be talking super fast and not be able to get what I wanted in. So, I wanted to do one separately. We'll do one for Beast and Squirrel Girl and their respective teams. So go check those out. Appreciate you stopping by. Come to the Discord. It's in the link in the description below. Love to chat, all that kind of stuff. You know, hammer down the like button, subscribes, notification bells. Do those things. They're goodness. And until next time, I hope you Have a wonderful day.